Brad, can you just talk about what Al gave you in his first game back and whether you were surprised that he was able to be this effective?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised. I think, obviously, um, he missed a couple of days there, and wanted to make sure he was in really good shape before he came back. And but he's done so much for us for so long. Nothing that he does on the court surprises me.
And I think you've discussed it before a little bit, but a little bit more assertive offensively this year, a lot more assertive offensively this year. Is there a
Well, we only took 9 shots, so I mean, he made a bunch of them. We as a team needed to do a better job of finding him, I think, at times. They had a real focus on being there on his catch today. They switched a lot of his screens. They tried to take away his three-pointer. They tried to be there and make it really hard to get looks. And so we had to play throughout a little bit as a passer too. But we still, our offense needs to smooth out still. But he's, obviously going to be a huge focal point, and even more so when Kyrie's out. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Coach, the play of Marcus Smart, the way he's leading the team and making chemistry plays, and can you talk about his game?
Yeah, I thought he was great. I thought the second half he was really good. Came out and hit those 2 threes when they went under those screens, and then just made the right play over and over and over. And then defensively, it's hard to start your night guarding Lowry. Lowry's a hard guy to guard, and he puts you on your heels all the time. And I thought Marcus did a really good job competing the whole night. But then I thought the way he played in the second half was, really gave us a huge lift. Well, I thought Jaylen did a good job on that sequence. DeRozan got him up off his feet a couple of times, but DeRozan's one of the best in the league at that. And Jaylen was the second jumper and challenged the shot as well as he could on that last one. I thought Al, the possession before, did a great job on DeRozan. But the reality is he often makes those shots anyways, and sometimes we, probably come in here and overreact either way to it. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You try to challenge it as well as you can, and we were fortunate that it didn't go in, but our guys gave great effort to make it tough.
Coach, I know you talked to Jayson Tatum about being willing to take that open three, but just the assertiveness that he's shown at the end of these games, the last couple of games, being willing to not only take the shot but to drive into traffic and finish at the end of the shot clock, things like that.
I mean, he's always been a guy that's been wired to make plays and to score the ball, and so it's not a huge surprise that he feels comfortable in those moments. But in the last couple of games, and specifically Friday night, we really needed him to make those plays. Today he was playing more against closeouts because other people were drawing the attention instead of just individual isolation plays, and he took advantage of that.
Coach, no Kyrie Irving against the Toronto Raptors. I mean, what does that say? What does this win say about the depth and the focus of this team right now?
Well, I mean, they're hard to play against. We just needed to keep kind of chipping away. I think that everybody knows what they need to do, and it's easier said than done when you're playing against a really good team and there's people out there competing against you. I think that we're trying to maximize every possession. I thought the 2 biggest possessions of the game for us were Terry Rozier's 2 threes at the end of the second and third quarters. I mean, they gave us a chance at halftime or made us feel better about ourselves, and then in the end of the third gives you a 1-point lead heading into the fourth. And every possession matters when it comes down to a 1-point game.
Brad, have you ever, as a coach, won 12 in a row?
Yep.
I know Butler. Okay. Secondly, how are you focusing more on what you guys aren't doing during this streak than what you are? Like, how are you kind of digesting this streak? Because this is the way it's. I mean, you want to win every game, and you're planning to win every game, but you're winning every game. And
yeah,
so,
we're not doing anything different. I mean, we come back, we'll watch the clips tomorrow when we land in Brooklyn from today's game, just like we did yesterday for a little bit, and then we'll do individual and group work and just kind of start preparing for Brooklyn. It doesn't change how you prepare. I think I think when you win some games, I do think that it builds a desire to be even more focused, just because you see some positive results out of that. But it doesn't change how we go about anything. I haven't heard any of our guys talk about it. Certainly we're not talking about it.
Is it even more surprising you're doing this? You haven't practiced in a month.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the one thing that kind of gets overshadowed there is that film is huge, individual and small group work is huge, and then these walkthroughs are practices for us. We get here 3:15 before the game, we watch film, we get out, we do a real warm-up, we do a real 45 minutes on the court or 40 minutes on the court, and that's when we think it's best to use the time to practice right now. Otherwise, you would just get into the every day. You wouldn't have a day to catch your breath. So we try to individualize those off days because some guys need rest more than others.
Could you talk about the resiliency of your team to be able to string up 12 wins in a row without key players?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, these guys are all professional basketball players. They're all really prideful. They all believe in themselves, and rightfully so. And the key is to just kind of do what you do best. We're not going to make up for Kyrie Irving by somebody trying to be Kyrie Irving. We just have to all chip in and account for him as a team.
Coach, not a big stat line out of Daniel Theis, but made a real impact on the game. What stood out to you most about what he brought to the team tonight?
Yeah, his rim protection has been good the whole time. He had a couple of key plays there in the fourth quarter, and then just his energy, the way that he tips balls, he keeps balls alive. He had that one tip in, which he may have tipped, somebody else may have tipped, who knows, but he's always going. He plays with a high motor. You can cover up for a lot of sins when you play with a high motor.
Brad, going back to Jalen defending DeRozan, what's the general rule that the team operates on as far as going up on pump fakes and contesting shots like that at the end of the game?
Well, you don't want to send these guys to the line. I mean, when you're talking about DeRozan is one of the best in the league at it. I thought the 8 free throws is a little bit more than you'd want, but that's about what he averages per game or per 48. And but he gets you to bite because he's such a good mid-range player, and our guys did a pretty good job of contesting there late and being the second jumper. That's what we always talk about. I was really nervous at the start of the game when Kyle Lowry saw the ball go through the net 5 times because we fouled him. That's a bad sign usually for a really good player. But we were able to keep him off the line the rest of the game, which was really good, and challenge his shots.